Mike Damergis with the King Scott Engel here at Citi Field for Roto Experts at the Ballpark for the Fantasy Sports Network. And Scott, today we went right into your favorite team, the New York Mets clubhouse.
Yeah, it is very interesting from fantasy perspectives. Everybody knows about the pitching, etc. But this team has some question marks offensively, Mike.
And one of those question marks, of course, is Michael Cuddyer, who came over here this year.
Yeah, Michael Cuddyer for fantasy players, it's really about can he stay healthy. You know, at his age, he's still a professional. He'll get on base. He went for only $4 in the Tout Wars mix auction this year. So pretty much a guy to really fill out the depth in your fantasy outfield, especially in a mixed league, an NL-only league. You really want him to stay healthy. More of an emphasis there in the mono league. But still a professional hitter.
And, of course, you talked to him earlier, and he is not spooked by the dimensions of Citi Field, even though they moved the fences in.
I don't think it's going to be too much of an adjustment. You still go up there and you got to try and hit a ball with the bat and make sure they throw strikes. So after everything else, after you make contact, you can't control any of it anyway. So you just go out there, you have the same approach, you try and put together good at-bats and let the results fall where they may.
Cuddyer hit .332 last year in 49 games, a batting champion in 2013. And Cuddyer joins his buddy from the Virginia Beach, Chesapeake area, David Wright. The two are very excited to be together.
Yeah, and for Wright, it's also a matter of staying healthy for him. We've seen it throughout his career. He's no longer regarded as an elite fantasy third baseman, but he had a pretty good spring. He did. It looks like he's comfortable at the plate, and hitting coach Kevin Long has worked well with him, Mike. And
Wright is very excited about working with Kevin Long, and he plans on using the whole field this year.
When you start seeing results, you start hitting the ball hard. I think it gives you that confidence that you're going up there, knowing that, you can drive the ball, especially for me, to center field, to right center, I feel like that's one of my strengths. So, to early in spring training, start kind of working on that again, felt pretty good. Yeah, I mean, he's got the pedigree, that's for sure. He's worked with some of the best hitters in the game. He has, helped develop some of the best hitters in the game. So the minute he walks through that door, and this is taking nothing away from our previous hitting coaches, because I think we've had some fantastic guys. But the moment he walks through the door, you just know his track record. You know he's done. He's proven, that he can really turn some hitters into really dangerous hitters.
So David, right there, and you see him and Cuddyer in the locker room. They're like the Blues Brothers, Jake and Elmo.
Yeah, it's about clubhouse leadership for them and Curtis Granderson. But for fantasy purposes, Wright looked really good this spring. He's swinging a good bat early in the season. Looks like his classic approach. He's trying to drive the ball the other way. We're seeing some power. We're not going to see the kind of power that we saw in his prime, but still a very good fantasy third baseman. Again, really, it's all about the health. He didn't elect to have the shoulder surgery, but it doesn't look like there's any residual effects now, but I'm not a doctor.
And one guy that's certainly happy to have Kevin Long come along, literally, is Curtis Granderson. Now, Granderson, a bit of a change this year, batting leadoff instead of further down the order.
Yes, with Granderson, though, it is what it is at this point in his career. Kevin Long helped him have a career year with the Yankees. Just hope, if you have, that he doesn't kill your batting average. And, of course, he's not going to steal bases any longer. He's not the ideal leadoff hitter. I think fantasy players, especially who play in NL-only leagues, want to see Juan Lagares, be the leadoff guy if they have him at all rostered. After coming out of the spring, we thought Lagares was going to be the leadoff guy, but maybe the Mets don't want to shove him into that spot just yet. Fantasy players are going to have to keep an eye on that situation.
Well, the leadoff guy right now is certainly Curtis Granderson, and Granderson said, I can still drive in runs whether I'm batting fifth or batting first.
You're really only in that spot one time over the course of the game, and that's at the start of the game. But even as out of the leadoff spot, depending when you come up, if guys are on, your role is going to change. You need to either move those runners over or try to get them across, or if no one's on base, you got to find a way to get yourself on. So that's basically the way I look at it. The at-bats before the game, the score, all that's going to dictate how you go about your bat.
And lastly, Scott, we had a chance to catch up with Travis d'Arnaud, the Mets catcher. Had a great second half last year, started off hot this year. He could be a good number 2 fantasy catcher.
Yeah, he's a guy I like a lot. Got him in 3 or 4 of my leagues, including Tout Wars. And I'm projecting about 275 with about 18 homers for d'Arnaud. Gained a lot of confidence, ripped it up when he came back from AAA last year. Hit 10 of his 13 home runs after June 24th. Looking a lot more confident at the plate. Didn't have a good spring, but once the regular season lights went on, he started dialing it in at the plate, looking more effective. I like d'Arnaud, and if you know some owner in your fantasy league who's not high on him and you want good catching help at a good value, see what you can do in trade talks. I really like Travis d'Arnaud this year.
And Travis talked to you about the changes he made when he got sent down last year.
I moved my back foot a little bit closer so I can cover more of the plate, and the most important thing for me was just keeping things simple and trusting and everything.
Well, fantasy owners of the New York Mets key players certainly hope Travis d'Arnaud comes through.
Yes, he's a good number two catcher. Don't make me hit you with a freaking Louisville slugger.
He's the king. Scott Engel for Roto Experts at the Ballpark. I'm Mike Damergis for the Fantasy Sports Network.
$1 million.